So this is the recording. Welcome to MLP DS. This is like the 73rd one, and we got people.
Oh.
There's an Alicon, and there's me, and
What a party and art. Now we go to art. Art
yeah.
time.
First picture is by still Rainbow Shimmers. It hasn't changed despite, restarting the recording.
Take two.
Yeah. So you want to. You sort of know what dresses look like. I tend not to wear them that often.
The breeze is nice.
Yeah, kilt's more my thing. God, I should get a tactical tartan.
Do it. What are you waiting for?
It's an entire line of them called tactical tartans. They're like cargo pants style.
Simply beautiful.
Yeah, the wings, and the dress. So I can see the first start of the issue with the wings is the placement.
Mm-hmm.
So you've drawn your shoulder up here, but then you've placed your wing coming off the arm. Now, I think I understand what has happened here, and it's going, I want the wings to show awesomely.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work because the anatomy doesn't match it. So we either have to rotate the body to match this. That means moving the arm over down here. Whoop. So it's behind here. Or we just move the wings back. So that would have one nestled back here. You can still have your folded up, sort of sprung and ready to go look to them. And then the other one would be right over here as the connecting point. And for this one, you can actually just drag the one you have and pull it on over, and it'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now your shape is mostly good. If you want to improve it a bit, the interior right around here is a little wonky. If we go look at actual references, we love our references.
Mm-hmm.
We
never can have enough.
On our subreddit here, we're gonna do this live to show you how to go to references that we have. Because guess what? We have an entire section on wings. I think it's under the exterior guides for this one. So poses and breakdowns, and we got like there's one on wings. Wings! Wings. And then more wings somewhere else. I know there's more wings here. And we gotta organize this thing better.
We could take a weekend, do it for fun.
Update it, just add more to it.
Exactly.
So wings. This one discusses how they're placed, how they're built, the bone structure that's found within them. So useful, so wonderfully useful. But most importantly is the feather building over here for this one. So we can see that, unfortunately Ali can't see this, but everyone else can. The construction of the wing, we have that top, the cuvets of the wing. They're very small, and then the underwing, the graters, are slightly longer, but still not substantially long, and they do actually retreat back towards where it connects to the arm, or the shoulder, I guess, right above it. And then you have those primaries and secondaries which grow out in length as they go. So, how can we translate that back to yours? Whoop. Well, we're going to grab a different color. And we're going to go... let's work on this wing over here. So if we want to keep the bone structure, that's fine because it works. The bone structure is just fine. See? But we're going to take the start here and thin it out a lot. Going to build it down. Once we have a pretty good idea of how that goes, we're going to build the top layer. Just do some quick feathers, just for a sketch to work it out, for how big we want it. We're going to build the secondaries, and we're going to build those massive primaries.
Beautiful. That is beautiful.
And then the smaller secondaries, sorry, the second layer was greater, not secondaries. And then the tertiaries, which is those ones really close to the body. And it's just
Someone's been practicing their wings.
I was staring at a reference, and I went, "Oh, reference has what I need. I'm gonna translate the reference to what I'm doing." I know it's crazy. This sometimes happens.
It's beautiful. You know, those beautiful reference moments.
Make the wings big, make them small. It doesn't matter. MLP wings are like these hilariously small things that they somehow fly, and then the griffins have somewhat same size as the wings.
Big old biggies.
So my suggestion: don't bother redoing the wings on this one. Good enough, because you said it's for, like, this was part of a trade that someone paid you for. That's done. You tend not to resubmit, like, hey, I fixed up your picture because I wasn't happy with it the first time. Art people who give you a version, like, they paid for it and agreed on it, because that's I just never heard that being done.
Gotta be sane, you know.
Yeah.
You can go back and fix something a billion times, but like it's better to move on than to keep reworking.
Exactly. So for your next one, though, you should definitely try something with wings, and feel free to abuse the crud out of doing some references there. Because references are your friend.
They're your best friend.
All right, Allie.
So, dresses.
Dresses.
Really flowy, floofy dresses.
Art of the dress.
Stitch by stitch. All right. So something I see here you're going for at the bottom is kind of like that, you know, wavy dress bottom, where everything kind of folds in on itself at some points and just really has that frilly look to it. I think one of the things that kind of got hurt here was the fact that you have the dress folds as if they were like a very a pleated skirt. Usually pleated skirts are very like they have structure straight folds. Kind of think of like a schoolgirl outfit, you know, kind of think of anime and all that fun style stuff. That's fine if it's going straight down, but obviously she's sitting and this is flowing out behind her. So I would think of more, you know, free flowing, you know, curves and such. Something just like that, and just, you know, you see where the lines fold in, and you know, you kind of like you play with that visual where the dress is falling into place, and really there's no simple right answer for fabric. The simple right answer is draw all the fabric you can get your hands on, all the time, never stop, and you will naturally feel that like flow, because even here we barely have any folds in this fabric whatsoever, not in this little tail, not in like the skirts up here, not up here. There's no folds, and fabric is full of folds, let me tell you, especially for like long flowy dresses. There's gonna have a lot of folds. So in order to think about improving the dresses, I would very much reference dresses, and I know it's probably going to be hard to find a reference of a horse in a dress, let's be real. But you can always translate, you know, human dresses to horses, just, you know, really get a feel for how a skirt would fall, and then kind of work with the pony butt and all that fun stuff. But I wish I could give you some more concrete advice on like ways to approach it, but really the best way for fabric that I've found is just really studying fabric, see what kind of folds it does, making sure there are, you know, like folds in your outfit itself. Usually when fabric is flat, it doesn't feel realistic at all. Unless it's like a super stiff vest, or like even then, there'll be little folds, you know? You crinkle when you sit, you crinkle when you move. This pony's sitting, there's gonna be crinkles. All that fun stuff. And if I could give one other tip, it seems like you're shading with black or dark gray. What do you think, Zamzam?
For definitely.
Like, I feel like down here, it feels very like mucky, not mucky, like muddy. It's like muddied color because you're working with maybe a gray or a black or something, where a pink's kind of losing its charm because there's a very, very dark color taking over it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a little bit of color drawn into that, so I think they're using the darken tool or possibly the shading layer. God, that angle sucks.
Hey, listen, it's not too bad without a reference.
Anyway, Verde's staring. That's
It's beautiful. She loves the dress.
Yeah. Don't use blacks. Do it, just darken it. Binky. Yes, art for us. Art, sorry. Not reading the chat.
Don't worry, I was gonna poke you about it after we're done.
Ow, my face.
Though I think the one other thing I'll mention is, I know we've brought this up before, but your hair here. I know hair tools are super fun, that's super strandy, like, oh, it's gonna be great because it's strands and hairs are strands, and it's not what you want. You're not gonna like it in the long run. It's great for the finishing details, maybe like some strand highlights, but to do your entire head of hair in this strandy brush really feels not quite natural. If you look at actual hair, it'll appear in clumps rather than strands. You don't really, when you focus on something, you don't see it for every strand. You see it for patches, the way, like for long hair, curly long hair, you'll see the large curls instead of each individual hair in the curl or such like that. So I highly, highly, highly suggest you work away from doing the strandy, stringy hair tool to cover the entire hair to get the texture, because it makes it feel flat. It makes it feel messy, and in the end, I feel like you can get much better results without using it.
Now, I will say, this background is cool. I really love
Yes.
the use of that background.
Yes. It's nice and colorful. It makes the character pop as well, which is really lovely.
Mm-hmm. All right, shall we get to the next one?
Yes.
All right, let me just dump it into here.
Sounds wonderful.
Also, I see you created layers for us. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
I, the entire time, did not use the layers. My bad.
It's fine.
I gotta resize art. That's a rotate option.
Also, while we're getting that set up, Q Pencil Case, the star that she is, Googled for horses and dresses, and there are indeed pictures of horses and dresses. It's a beautiful thing. The internet is a beautiful thing.
I don't know if I'm gonna go as far as beautiful, but it's a thing.
It has its moments. I'll leave it to that.
I would also like to remind everyone that Eggy of Fluffy, draw fluffy things in the Eggy, please. You want to just fluff everywhere. May I suggest a lint roller?
Oh my god. Strangosaurus strikes again.
This is why we can't have nice things, Allie.
Nope. The dino needs to assert his dominance. That's how it goes in the wild.
Apparently. Alright. On to the next one. Binky, do you have any questions in particular about this chibi pony?
Chibba chibba.
Do, do,
I
do,
like the
do,
fleefy
do,
mane.
do.
It's a fun, this feels like a fun sticker.
Yeah. Oh, good back crack.
Been a long day.
Yes, you accidentally forgot wings. Yes, you did.
We can just do the little chibi wings.
Yeah, the floating ones?
Yeah, the little floating ones.
Oh, those things are adorable.
Ta-da. You got little wings.
If there's one thing I'm observing a little bit here, the connection right here is all sorts of weird because you've decided to go lineless on that, but my suggestion is, while you've decided to keep lines up here, you should also keep the lines down there for the interior bits. Just a little bit of black right across that gap. It'll be perfect.
Ooh, the hoof holding. Actually, really simple. Just Powerpuff Girl it. Just have the hooves regular. Have regular hooves. and just it's just velcroed. Yep. Don't even gotta question it. Something as chibi as this, you don't have to question it. Just Powerpuff Girls it. Bam.
Been testing out the style for Anthera. Any thoughts on it? I think it's adorable.
It's
Should
very
keep going
adorable.
with it. Missing. No, that's like a beard now. Anyway,
And you
the
got both ears. Yay. That just made me happy.
I would. Your arms are missized though, so you have this short one here and then this really long one here. Try and keep them somewhat the same. I know Chibi tends to break everything on themselves, but
Yeah.
if you
Like
bring
a rule of thumb, aim for elbow to swing with the belly button.
ah, she doesn't have a thumb though.
A thumb for what?
Well, you said rule of thumb. She has no thumb.
Oh. Ah ha ha. Ah ha ha. Oh god.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those days.
Yep, very, very much.
Oh my gosh, CPC's picture's adorable.
Oh, I can't wait to
Slummy,
look.
feel free to throw your art at us. Just link it on up. We'll get to it. Um, I do want to. What's going on with this dark red line back here?
That's the tail.
Oh.
Like a devil's tail.
Okay.
But it's, yeah, and then it like comes out as her normal tail at the end, because it's like, I guess it's like binding the tail. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else.
No, it works.
Maybe have some more contrast for when you give black clothing to something, because your black lines are barely noticeable on the black clothing. And to infer that something is black, you don't need to go full black. I dial it back even a little more than what you have. Because, like, if I... Whoop. Off to the side. So, like, if I just have, you know, this, I can still have a black outline be noticeable. And it still be black. And then it's like, oh, hey, look, it's leather. Here's some shiny leather.
Sure.
So, like, even more than I just did there, you could dial the black of the outfit back just a little more. So you can really get those lines, because the lines are so clear everywhere else, and they just die on the black. But yeah, I mean, unless you have any other questions. She's devil horns.
So she's triple horned.
Mm-hmm.
Is the skirt off? No, it's just kind of flat. But I mean, it sort of gives that mini skirt chibi feel. You don't have to go into lots of details with chibis.
No.
They're like, they get weird when you over detail them.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of why I said simplify, like, just have the Powerpuff Girl hand, have it Velcro. The only thing that I think it will benefit to have a little bit more contrast between your line work and the color itself, because chibis are so simple, you don't need that much, but the little you need to be able to see it. So it's kind of pointless when it's lost on the image. Yeah, no, just this little overlap here, it's just enough to make it feel like it's hugging her rather than a part of her. Oh no, I see them. It does have devil horns.
Chibi devil horns. Yes. All right.
I don't really got anything else.
So Salami, you got any questions about your poem? BFC, don't believe in yourself, or believe in the you. The I don't know how that goes. Believe in the me
Derpy
that.
who believes in you.
There you go. Thank you, Stranger Source. Bandana, hooves, and scarf. Wait, there's a scarf? Oh, legs and hooves. What? Where did I get scarf from?
It's one of those. It's one of those days.
Yeah. Well, Miss Resident Bandana Wearer at all times of the day, including while sleeping.
I'm currently wearing one right now.
I believe it. We gotta get you MLP ones.
Definitely. I get a whole outfit, all the main six, plus princesses.
Princess Fluffy guy.
So, I mean, how I interpret bandanas on ponies, I kind of treat them just the same as humans wear them. So the bandana's on their head, but it's behind their ears, kind of like how AJ wears her hat. So I mean, you can interpret them like this, but to me, when you have them wrap around the hair like that or the ears like that, it feels more like a do-rag than a bandana. Get a better pen size, whatever. So you could have, oh, it's too thick. So you could have your hair, coming out here and poofing and curling, and you have that nice thing there, but then the bandana kind of like holds back the hair over here, and then kind of just folds in the back. I mean, I kind of simplify mine by just doing the triangle shape, but it could take some play, just how it falls at this angle. But yeah, I personally just do the behind the ear thing, and then maybe if you want to, you can show like the little tie on the side. That's pretty cute. Play around with it. Yeah, to me it just doesn't feel like a bandana when it wraps around the ears. Because if you look at bandanas, a do-rag, if you Google it, you'll get a bunch of results. It's like a head wrap cover, sort of. But yeah, a bandana to me, it's very tight. It doesn't have a lot of extra space. Doesn't have a lot of extra thing to tie because it's it's based off of like a square of cloth. instead of having extra long bits to like wrap around places. It's very only can really wrap around one point, and if you try to push any further, you're not going to have much of an area to tie. So that's why I usually push it behind the ears like AJ's hat. But that's a personal choice, and what can I say? You are welcome to explore all the different head decoration options.
So real quick on the legs here. The general shape is okay. I've just adjusted the back one a little bit to show you sort of more leaning towards keeping with the bone structure, because the legs do this weird like duck and back thing. So if we're to harden up that that joint right over here, yep, that guy, it's going to give a stronger look, because you have all these very strong angles and like protruding chest and stuff. So for the leg to be sort of smooth and dainty is a little bit odd for how the rest of your style is going. So I would just make that harder. I also move back the leg or the opposite leg for the reason of how your chest is. You the way you have it, basically it's both legs are placed on towards the front of the chest as opposed to on the side. It's a little bit weird for how that bone would be going, because they got like a chest plate hanging around here and then ribs all down, right? Even on, like, if you look at a dog or a cat, those legs are back. They aren't on that curve at the chest. So that's all I got for that. I would add, because you're missing just the back of this hoof for the far leg, I do have a suggestion that's unrelated to those three topics, though, that you asked about. And that's this tail back here. It's placed off to the side as opposed to behind the pony, because the way your pony's turned, we got the body going like this. See if I can do this. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, there's the oval. We got the body doing that direction, but your tail's doing that, like 90 degrees to the image. So we should move it up, place behind. I know it's going to hide some of that, but if she's in a relaxed pose, there's no, it seems a little bit odd to try and roll it forward, or roll it to the side, sorry. And this gives you some nice layering to play with. Even make it pop out over there. And do the bottom there. You know, play with it.
All the fun.
All the fun.
So I just quickly drew over to the side. I mean, you can, like I said, you can play with it however you want to put it on the head. I find it, even if it's not, you know, what's the word? Realistic physics on how ponies wear headgear. I mean, a lot of the time we either see ear holes poke through stuff, or it's like AJ, where she has Velcro in her hair and we question nothing. But I just did a little side view here. I think of it as like the hair. It's like a ponyo, or like a pony, you know, like thing you hold up for the tail. It may not feel like it could hold or stay, but the thing that's keeping it is the tension of the hair. Like, you're tying it around the hair. The hair is holding it just as it's holding the hair. It's like a team effort. But that's how I see it working, going behind the ears.
Any further questions?
No, it's a good poem. Keep working at it.
Love your eyes.
Yes. So pretty. Little pools, little moon pools.
All right, then last but not least, we have spellbound canvases.
Kishi Twy.
So,
Oh,
Hello.
I have joined.
Da da da.
so this one he talks about using the gradient mesh tool in Adobe Illustrator CC 2017 for doing the shading. I have never heard of anyone using that for shading.
Um, well, it depends. You can use bits of it. Just depends like how you use it and everything. Although, what have they done? Because it's quite. I can't quite see what they've done. Like how the gradient comes in. I can see like a bit on the arm where it goes here. I can see. But I can't tell like what all this shape is.
Well, look around the chest and stuff. It's very evident there, and like the chest, the leg.
Yeah, but I think how like gradient like unless they had like a specific, I don't know, they might overlaid a load of circular like radial gradients, I guess, but like otherwise it's either circular or straight. They just upgraded buttons, maybe.
You're
The
breaking up a
better
lot.
way, I was gonna say the better way I found in Illustrator is well, I got a bit trigger happy when I discovered mask. Um, what I would do, where you have like, okay, so you have like say this arm is a shape. I drew that very badly, but it likely cuts off here. Either that or the whole body is, but considering it goes under the head, I'm pretty sure this arm is just like a shape. Um, as is this leg, you can sort of see it there. The way I do it, have a separate layer so that you can lock it so it doesn't get in the way. For the shading, make a shape like this, right? And make sure it goes like way outside the shape. And you want that to be filled in. And then you're just going to blur it. You're going to do a gradient blur. And the good thing about Illustrator is since it's not pixel work, this is non-destructive, which means you can alter the blur, turn it up and down, turn it off completely, hide it for later if you want, because it's kind of just emulating what it'll look like when it prints it for you. So by doing so, you get this shape. Like if that's where you want the shadow for the arm, you put it outside just so you don't get like the white outline. You want to make sure there's still content here to blur into it, you know. And then you just take the arm shape and you throw that on top of the layer mask for the shadow, and then it'll just cut it. So all it is inside the arm. And that's just an example for that particular part of the body, but you can do that for just about anything. It's really hard to explain when we're not actually in the program, but just look into creating layer masks and then sort of use the pen tool and just look into creating actual shapes of the shading, because you'll probably have a much better time with it. It's easier, it's more fun, it has a much better output. Just sort of see what you can do with that. Something I feel, if I can zoom in, this nose looks like, from the shadow, it looks like it cuts off here, which is something I've seen in the comics, and it makes there's this like one of the, not the actual comics, the magazine, sorry, and they have like a little comic thing. There's one of Flurry Heart where this happens. They have like the mouth here, then they have like a second mouth, and it's really freaky. I would do it like make the nose come down a little bit further and cross over the mouth like this, and then have the mouth as a completely separate shape underneath it, but just hidden, obviously, so all you can see is this. Because if either that or you just have the typical like bridge nose, but like it's up to you. And if you really want to do the cute little pudgy nose, then just sort of bear in mind like where it ends, because this nose is clearly going like up here. and then there's this gap here which doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, Pony's like one of the big things between like there's no lip gap between the nose and the mouth. It's just kind of like nose to mouth.
I'm not drawing it right now.
All that muzzle, all connected.
Yeah.
So
It's just a matter of looking at reference, I guess.
totally.
So you can see something.
Yeah. You're shading. You're using black and white for shading and highlighting. Don't use black and white. You'll see here.
Yes.
This purple that I put down looks darker. Guess what? It's only a tad lower on that gradient. The hue, no, not hue. The shading, whatever. Anyway, it's only slightly darker, but because it's more towards blue, which is a colder color, it is normally darker. It looks darker.
Yeah, I'm just doing a little slide. Like I'm just dragging my color picker on like where you go from light to dark, and I'm seeing it jump very much between just going towards white or going towards black. So exactly what LD said. I'm just repeating.
Yeah, and for your light, you go, but Mr. Zombie, where would I ever get that lighter color? Well, it's pretty easy. As soon as I remember how to color pick in this, instead of just picking noses.
I keep doing it accidentally, so it's control
Yeah,
and then click on things.
There
you
it is.
just hold control.
You go color pick that, and you go towards a lighter color, because you have two sides here. You have your yellows, which is nice and light, and you have your blues, which are nice and dark. And of course, this is tilted towards whichever color's the primary color, like the main light source in the area. But if we're just assuming natural sunlight or overhead, white lights, the soft yellow lights, it's going to keep with the standard of yellow and blue. So we're just going to move it up towards that yellow, which is moving towards this nice pinks. And we can bring it up towards the brighter, just slightly increase it, and then we go. Bada, 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 bada. Look,
You
we
get a
get these
nice,
lights.
nice color.
But I can confirm, just that is something that's a daily part of drawing. Is just select the base color and then just raise all over it to get like the shading. Because I mean, you don't want to have like a huge list of your colors at the side. Like, oh, I use this color for the shading and I use this color for highlighting. If you're just using like a really simple color, you can make sure that your selection tool's only picking up the layer and then just select color from the actual shading layer. But just a lot of the time, it's easier just to like pick the base and then just darken it a certain amount, just so it doesn't need to be exact most of the time. But it's a lot easier for picking up, particularly if you're deliberately using different colors. It's you don't want to guess where the original color was.
Yeah. And like, honestly, one thing I'll say is read a short thing on color theory. You don't have to like always go back to color theory to see, but if you read it once, take some notes and then refer back to it every once in a while, you'll definitely get a better idea of how exactly you can utilize all your colors instead of just shifting more towards white or black.
We can do this a second time. We're gonna do a second pitch for these. Here we
Do
go. Reddit/MLP Drawing School. It should be the first link that comes up when you type in Reddit, because you of course go there all the time. And in this case, I think we actually, I know we have some in exterior guides, but I think we even have wrote some in the beginner guides. But in the exterior guides, we have coloring and shading,
Oh
which
yeah.
gives a nice idea of coloring. And then we have a coloring one by Glitch Puppet.
I was gonna suggest that one if we didn't.
And I'm not going to enable Flash because Flash is evil. And then there's also one by Purple Skellington somewhere in here. Color, no. Where was Purple's? Oh no, did they remove theirs on DA and we had to remove from here?
Possibly.
I think they did. Anyway, there's lots of
Do you
information
mean purple? You mean purple Kecleon?
Yes.
They are Glitch Puppet.
Oh.
They changed their name.
Yes. There you go. You get to listen to all sorts of great music while I click through this really quickly. Alright, it gives a great overview of all sorts of happiness for color.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Really
go
great
over it.
breakdown.
Just don't learn it like this rate. High speed.
Give yourself time to read it, and don't just read it once and throw it away. Go back to it if you didn't quite understand something or something's not quite working out. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be there to help you. Don't deny help when it's there.
Basics. Shading.
It's been so long since I've I'm just sort of like fiddling with like the eye flicks on the iris. Like it's been so long since I've worked with such little space on an iris. the way I've started drawing them now, because I did used to do pretty big pixels, but like I can't draw some on the dodge layer that I made. I've trapped myself.
Dun dun dun.
I'm bad at choosing colors. The way I do it now, sorry, I have like the eye shape. There's a cute little nose there. It's a very squished face, but you get that. I tend to do like quite small pupils, and I do sort of like a big iris around them. This isn't, of course, how you should do it. This is purely just my style. But I like that because then I can get lots of rooms for like the pretty little. Whoops! I flipped the canvas upside down. That was not what I was intending to do. Lots of room to work in the iris. It's purely just me. I like it because it lends a lot of like. I feel like the iris is a big part of a character's like expression. Even if the iris doesn't really change shape much, it's just a matter of like, you're looking at that character's eyes, you're looking into them, kind of thing. What can I not redo?
Because it's a bad drawing program.
Yeah, it's like on the option and everything. Well, yeah, I like it because I like to see more of the color of the iris because it really shows off that character's like personality. But not most people are going to use bigger pupils. It's purely up to you. And most of the time, of course, they will change size based on if the character's like mood. Like if they're surprised or shocked, you'll have much smaller pupils. But study expressions and everything as well. Personally, I think I picked it up from. Damn, I should have found out the artist's name before speaking. Whoever does Dash Academy, I can't remember the artist's name right now. But they draw quite small pupils, and I quite liked it, so I started copying it. But even in the show, though, if you look at actual show style, because one just happened to come onto my screen, the pupils aren't that big. I guess since it's like the Philly style, it kind of makes sense. But like for older ponies, there's at least a little bit of room around like the iris for doing like the little colors and everything, and the shiny bits.
To answer your question, Sorcerorxis, something like that.
Oh yeah, something I can't pronounce it either. I'll find it. Sorceress. That was it. I remembered it before I got there. But no, absolutely like do that. If there's an artist you like, look at how they do. Like, find out what it is you really like about their style. So, do I like the way they do the ears? Do I like the eyes? Do I like their snouts? And then look at how they actually do them, like the shapes they use, and then just copy the hell out of that. For learning purposes, just look at what they do and then try to do it in your own, and then you'll eventually do it in your own way as well. And that's basically how you develop. Like, by all means, I've seen plenty of people, like, when you get, like, the really popular artists, like, well, I've seen so many Atrial clones, like, people copying Atrial's style exactly because they just love how he, like, shades and the shapes he uses and the, like, the lines he uses and everything. Like, I try, but just for learning purposes, but I just cannot. But, like, some people will just copy the style exactly, and that's not good to do. Like, don't completely become another artist. You've got to be your own artist, you know?
Yeah.
But it's definitely good. Like, do by all means, I think a good thing to do is an interpretation. Like, I've done this for the show. I think I've done one for Kawaii Pony, or I was thinking of doing one. Put a picture up that you specifically. The whole point of the picture is that you're copying as much of another artist's style as you can. It's an homage to that person's style. It's not that this is how you're drawing pictures now. It's just for this one picture you've decided to see how they do it, walk in their shoes, and sort of maybe learn a little bit. and it's a very enlightening experience. So I definitely recommend doing that.
Yeah.
We even had a bi-weekly challenge on this one.
Oh,
We
did
did?
we?
Yeah, we did. Do we even have those listed anymore? Yes, all bi-weekly challenges are still listed. Look,
Aw,
look at this thing. It's like a big list of challenges to do for yourself.
We should revive them. Do another run after.
We could
the
just
current
go
one.
back through the loop.
Exactly.
I mean, we have like 42. We're going to say more
I don't
around
think I've heard of this.
35 because I think like 7 of them were emotes. We really wanted to get people to draw us emotes. People didn't draw
Listen.
emotes.
We still want people to draw us emotes.
Yeah, we totally
gosh.
take emote suggestions. Just submit it to the better mods. Us. I
They
mean,
actually get
What?
to be pony motes though. That'd be pretty cool.
yeah, all of our emotes are cached on the pony emotes. So when
Oh my
when
God.
they do the updates, they'd be updated.
I wish I could have some.
Mhm.
As long as they are art related, we will put them up there.
Yeah.
Or
Art?
related to Fine Line. Either or.
Yes.
Like I would try and draw my own, but like I don't know, like for general pony motes as well. But like I wouldn't know how to like submit them, and I would be way too nervous to anyway.
You submit a picture to us and we format it into the right size.
As simple as that. You have to get a critique though. That's the other rule.
Yes.
It has to be critiqued.
Oh. I like critiques.
So going quick back, I'll just mention some of the things I was drawing in my Christmas colors. So be careful. We have an eye size issue. One eye is bigger than the other, so just something to be aware of. Also, the horn is between the eyes. If you look at Phillies, it's above the eyes, usually on the forehead rather than in between. So that's just something to be careful of. Move that up and make sure the eyes are together. And as for the ear, I see you wanted fluff on the rim there. I like where you're going with it. To me, it looks like it's a little too spiky. It doesn't feel like fluff. Feels more like the tooths of a saw, going all the way down. It's all uniform, all going across the same the same curve there. So it feels more like it could cut something rather than it being a soft, fluffy, ear
Don't
fluff.
want fluff to cut.
No, you want it to be nice and lovely. And also the way you did her ear, it feels more like there's like a big giant hole rather than just the part of I'll make it, let's see, I'll grab this nice pink. Like the ear, the inside of her ear, the hole that'll connect into her head is more down here, but with the way you shaded it, it feels like there's this entire section that's going into her head because of how dark it is. Usually the ear, it's just going to be darkest in the pocket rather than the full length, especially with how your light is hitting this pony. So it actually end up being a lot lighter. I'll grab a yellow, a lot lighter up in this area. You'd have the light pour in slightly, but still have go back to pink, but have the dark down there. So it's more of like a directional, and you created this pocket that doesn't quite exist in an ear. So I would take a look at how ears are on really any animal that sticks up, like cats, some dogs, rabbits can have poke up ears. Just really take a look and see how like those ears are shaped, formed, and how they have their highlights and how they go into the head. Guess that's it really for this.
Yeah, that's
I can't think of anything else myself either.
also it for the arts that people have submitted to us. So if anyone else has any art they'd like critique, feel free to throw it at us. And if not, well, we're gonna retire. Till next week.
And make sure you all jump on the Aggie.
Yes, it needs more fluff going on.
I just joined because how could I not join in with this?
Your name. Yes, you need to draw something painfully fluffy. And Adley Claw does too, because she is a fluff master. A fluffomancer? Yeah, I'm gonna go with fluffomancer.
That sounds badass. Fluffmancer.
It does.
Instead of raising the dead, I just like all the hair that's been shed, I control that.
Oh god.
Exactly.
You should just get a horde of huskies.
To fuel your empire.
Mm-hmm. Sillies, such sillies.
What else do you expect?
Oh dang! Look how fluffy this whole thing is. So
The
much
I
tongue-
fun.
love the Lyra. It's so well drawn.
The
Who drew
tongue
that?
is fluffy.
That's Strangosaurus of PC.
BFC, I think.
I love it's so fluffy that the Q mark's just like completely not even there. Or either that or they haven't drawn it yet, but
So much
either
fun.
way it's fluffy. I love how it's drawn though. So cute.
Yes.
They are amazing artists.
So many awesome.
Although
artists.
the sparkles aren't fluffy, which is weird. Because you figure everything would be fluffy.
Listen, when you have a good shower, your fluff sparkles.
Oh, imagine the amount of shampoo they would need.
Oh god.
Like showering is where my nickname of Fluffy's Eye came from. Because my mane would just become completely fluffed.
Please, Strangosaurus. He says it's not possible.
You
You're
aren't.
just not trying hard enough.
Use the heart of the fluff.
Exactly. It's art. Anything is possible.
A flying rhino in junior high.
See?
All right. With that, because no one else is throwing art at our face, we're gonna call it a week. See you guys next week, and remember, 5:30-ish time for this. It's like an hour ago this time, or for anyone watching on YouTube, it's a time on a watch in some guy's country.
I'm sorry for always forgetting.
Oh, please, you're fine. I was running late today.
Oh
You were
my.
3 minutes late, Allie.
I know.
3.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's 3 minutes late to. It's 3 minutes less fluff and cute ponies.
Does it make up for the fact that the 3 minutes I probably lost because I bought unicorn stickers? Does that make up for it?
Yes, but we have to see the stickers.
I can take a picture.